NBC4 News at Noon starts now.
Love is in the air. You're supposed to say a big yes on that one as we count down to Valentine's Day. But with so many relationships, kind of beginning on the internet, the search for your soulmate can get very complicated.
That's right. Ken Chaplin from Experian.com is here with some Valentine's Day advice that lasts year-round. Ken, thanks for being here. You have some tips from the FBI, really red flags that people need to pay attention to when they're dating online. Those red flags glaring right now after the Manti Te'o case. What are some things that we need to pay attention to?
Yeah, certainly. When you're in the online dating space, one of the first things you need to be aware of is how much you share online. Be careful with how much information you're willing to put out there. These scammers are very smart. They'll have done their homework. They'll have set up profiles that match your likes, your dislikes, and your interests, and make it very easy for you to start to conversate with them and gain your trust.
This is probably something that you see quite often in your area of expertise. What are some of the, you said red flags. What are some of the red flags that we ought to, watch out for?
Well, when you see that perfect profile, this love match that you've been looking for your entire life, that could be a red flag. Double check that. Look into this person's background. You mentioned the current news situation. Certainly find out who you're talking to. Look for them beyond the site where you're engaging with them. See if they have a digital footprint, and make sure who you're engaging with is who they say they are.
You also said a concern is if somebody presses you to leave that maybe the social networking site where they connected originally and is asking you to communicate via email or instant message. That's a concern as well if they're pressing you to go that direction?
Well, certainly getting out of that safe space where you met them could be a concern, but I guess the next one in that relationship is when the conversation switches to financial matters. The urgent need for cash to be transferred, send me money for a plane ticket to meet you.
Well, anytime something like that, I would say that's a big right there,
Certainly, but that's very important then in that case that you're thinking with your head and not your heart, and you're being pragmatic versus emotional in your decision.
And probably this is very, very true, Ken, where they know at what point to throw that bait out because they've already got your trust. You're already kind of emotionally invested in them because they don't just hit you with that off the bat.
Absolutely. They're very calculating. They know when to hit you with that, when the relationship's at the right point, when you're the most vulnerable, and when they'll end up getting the money.
What about the emotional connection you have with this person and you're talking to somebody, the relationship you think is going well? Is there a red flag if somebody almost instantly or too quickly professes their love for you?
Absolutely, for sure. If things are moving along too quickly, that would most definitely be a red flag, and you'd want to check yourself and make sure that this is progressing at a normal pace. And again, go back, do the research, make sure this person is who they say they are.
I get that, but do you have to hire a private eye to check out the date on the internet site?
No, you certainly don't. I mean, there's certainly ways to do background checks, and certainly our company is a partner in that. And that what we're constantly doing is scanning the web for both the public information that's out there as well as what we call the dark web information, and we alert people when their information is used either at their consent or against their consent so they can take the appropriate actions.
All right, Ken, thank you very much.
Thanks for
We
having me.
appreciate it. And we will have all this information on our website. Visit NBCLA.com after the newscast. Ken Chaplin, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back in just a bit.